So I wanted to talk about something that had come up on, it was yesterday, that I was walking around cooking in my kitchen and I was thinking about different conversations I had had. And one particular conversation that came up in my mind was there was this one occasion where I admitted that I didn't trust a certain person to not do harm to me or other people, given that we were in a very emotional situation. I admitted that that's how I felt, that I was nervous about it. And the person was like, well, how could you not trust me in that moment? And so I was thinking about that, and I'm like, well, why did I react that way? What exactly specifically pinpointed it? And I recall that it was because that I knew when I was like 11 years old, there was this girl that went to our church who was killed while 8 months pregnant by the father of the child. She was leaving work and she had gotten killed. And so for me, that said that if that man was willing to do something like that to the mother of his child with his seed in her belly, then I didn't believe that anyone that it's like it hit me from the time of being 11 that people were capable of almost anything. There were two other incidences in my life where some kind of violence or death impacted my formation, my adaptation as a young person. When I was 9, two people very close to me were murdered. And um, when I grew up, also someone very close to me attempted suicide when I was 12. And so I'm thinking about these three people that I knew that were murdered, and the person who attempted to commit suicide. Now, the person who attempted to commit suicide, not only did this person attempt to commit suicide, I was the person who applied first aid that saved their life, and I was 12 years old. And I remember when I was telling somebody the story about the incident when I was 12, they were blown away by it. They said, "Oh my God, that how I feel bad for you because you had to go through that." And and when he reacted that way, that he felt so bad that I had gone through that, witnessing that type of situation, um, it hit me. I never actually took the time to feel sorry that I went through it. I never felt that it was something to pity. And so the reason I'm making this video is because there are a lot of people out there in the world that we may not know what they have faced in their life that has led them to the place that they are right now. So when someone reacts in a way that you don't expect, understand that for them, in their life, something in their life has shaped them to react the way that you just saw that doesn't make sense to you, but that if you were there, if you had gone through whatever it was they went through, you would totally, completely understand, and it wouldn't be so unexpected. So the things that people do that we say, I was so shocked, chances are there is a reason for it. If the person yells at you and you're like, why are you mad at me? Why are you yelling? You have to ask them. Go ahead and ask them. But in a voice that says, I'm trying to understand. Why did you react that way? Why did you react so emotionally to that? And ask them to think about it, to think back on their upbringing, to think back on their life. What led them to do that? Because the incident that happened where I applied first aid to save a person's life that had tried to commit suicide, years later, a very close friend of mine, I was a young adult at the time, had also done the same thing. And my reaction to it surprised him and surprised some other people because I immediately flew into protective emergency mode, got into the hospital, and was running through red lights and everything else. And it wasn't until after the fact, after he was hospitalized and he was treated and he was okay, that I had time to process the reason I emotionally reacted in that immediate sense that it hit me so hard was because I was having flashbacks to the other person that I had saved when I was 12. When I didn't trust the individual that I said, I don't put anything past anybody. I think anybody is capable of hurting someone else. It was because of the three people I knew that had been murdered. And, 9 years old, two people that were killed. 11 years old, this other person that was killed. And by people that they trusted. So I'm saying that to say this. If you know somebody who seems like they have trust issues, they want to be loved. Everybody wants to be loved. It takes your willingness to get through it, to get through the wall of whatever adjustment they've had as a child. It's not a bad wall. It is a I've been hurt wall. I've seen things that maybe you didn't understand. Um, if you can love that person, and it won't take too long. If you just show them that you genuinely care, that you're genuinely going to be there, then that person is going to give to you just so much love, so much affection because they want to feel balanced, they want to feel centered. And as human beings, we are socialized. It's just something that's in us. It's potential that is evolutionary at this point, that we are socialized to desire a connection with other people, whether it be friendship or love, but we definitely want to have a significant other who is in our life, who is going to love us and stand by us and be just as trustworthy as we are. Because, in my opinion, some of the people who have been hurt the most are the most committed to the people that they love because they don't want to give that pain again. So find somebody, if you find out that you're with someone who has trust issues, who's maybe been through some kind of trauma in their past, if they are not abusive to you, they're going to do the total opposite. They're going to love you wholeheartedly and completely because they're doing the opposite of what they saw. So if they felt like, I'm afraid, I want to be loved, give them that and they will give it back to you 100%.